Hi, and welcome to Fire and Ice video blog, and the following video will be about desensitizing Ben, who is my 9-year-old thoroughbred rescue that I just rescued a couple months ago in March. Basically, I made this video to show probably the best way that I've found to desensitize new thoroughbreds or young thoroughbreds. And the best way to do that is by riding them bareback. Through my experience, I've found that that's basically the quickest and easiest way to teach a horse to be less sensitive to maybe like somewhat of a imprecise leg or just kind of bouncing hands or just any type of bouncing in general. So here I am getting ready to get on him bareback, and I'm rubbing him and trying to desensitize him, and then I'm just going to ask him to walk off. And so then after he starts walking off, I'm going to do everything I can to get him to just get agitated, to just kind of get him to bolt. You can see me swinging my legs and, tapping him with my hands and just, basically trying to, get him to act up a little bit. And just the more I do that, the more he'll get used to that kind of sensation and just realize that it's not the end of the world and he doesn't have to take off with me. So there I am walking with a loose rein, still, touching him and trying to get him just used to the sensation of being touched and everything like that. And here I've actually dropped the reins and I want him to halt when I say halt, and he does that. And then now I'm going to try to get him to walk off again by, tapping him and just kind of waving my hands and everything like that. And he's doing very well there. Oh, and I do want to mention that the video is not overly edited. Basically, I just cut out the parts where we move outside of the frame. I didn't have someone to videotape for me, so I had to set up some still motion, or I had to, set the camera, on one end of the round pen. So there are times where we ride outside of the camera range, but then I just kind of cut that part out and went right to the next part. So it's not a trick video. He didn't do anything or act up or anything, and then I just cut those parts out. That did not happen. You're seeing everything, and if anybody has any questions, I'm more than happy to send you the raw video. So here he is trotting off, and I'm just, I'm trying to really not hold the reins. I'm trying to balance as much as possible, just, kind of ride like a newer rider would ride, and just give him that sensation of just, being with a rider that's not very still. And the reason I do that is because when I go to have these horses adopted, I have a lot of newer riders come out and get on the horses, and usually quite quickly they start to bounce, and then they try to balance themselves by catching their hands, and then that catches the horse in the mouth, and then the horse tries to get away from that pressure by moving faster, then they bounce more, then they catch the horse in the mouth more. It's an endless cycle, and it just tends to agitate the horse. So if I can do anything to kind of reduce the agitation or just kind of desensitize the horse to that kind of experience, then I should do that as somebody who's retraining these horses. I just wanted to say that really quick as well. And one more thing, throughout this video you'll see me kind of bending him a little bit excessively to the right, and let me just explain why I'm doing that. When I first adopted him, he would counter bend to the right, which is not unusual for racehorses because for some reason they tend to flex the horse to the out of the circle instead of with an inside bend, and so usually there's one direction that the horses don't want to bend to the inside, and so his direction was to the right, and so that's why I kind of overbend him to the right just to kind of correct that problem and to just get him to start building up muscle so that he can have an inside bend. And here you see I'm cantering, and I'm just, the reins are fairly loose, and there I break to the trot, and I try to bounce as much as I possibly can, but here I drop the reins and he breaks to the walk, and so that's exactly what I want, and he just walks off, and there I don't even really have a hold of the reins. And here I'm cantering the other direction, and I basically want him to do the same thing. And, of course, I've been riding for 30 years, so I'm not catching him in the mouth like someone who's a little bit newer would, but it's still giving him the experience of me not sitting so still as I would be if I had a saddle on. And so there I break into the trot, And you can see I didn't even edit the video there. I let myself go outside of the frame. And then same thing, I'm just going to drop the reins and ask him to stop with my body. And you can tell I don't even have the reins there. Boom, he stops. And he's doing such a great job and being such a good horse. So my aim of this video was to show how riding a horse bareback can appropriately desensitize just about any horse, even this fast, so-called crazy racehorse, you know, as you can see, is not looking to run off with me, even in this video clip. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact me at Fire Nice Horses. Once again, Ben is available for adoption, so if you'd like to adopt him, you can contact me about that as well, and we'll set something up. All right, thank you, and have a good day.